Good day, everyone. I am Ella May A. Pedraza, and I am a part of Group 13. My group members are Miss Rhea M. De Guzman, Miss Elgin P. Domingo, Miss Angel N. Bondoc, and Mr. Warren A. Latoga. And we are discussing the part of our topic, which is the classroom assessment and technology. So, before we start, let me define first what is classroom assessment. Classroom assessment is a joint process that involves both teachers and learners. And classroom assessment is an ongoing process of identifying, gathering, organizing, and interpreting qualitative and quantitative information about what learners know and can do. It states that it may provide informations to the teachers about the things that the students know and can do. Classroom assessment allows students to demonstrate their skills and the things they understand as they perform a certain activity. It is helpful to teachers as they will know what the students understand and what are they able to do. So the next is assessment. Assessment is the process of gathering information on what students know based on their educational experience. The result of assessment are typically used to identify areas where improvement is needed and ensure that the course content meets learning needs. Like for example, a teacher will give a quiz for students to answer. The quiz is called an assessment, and the answer will be collected by the teacher so that they can see if a child has improved or if the child has learned something from a lesson. So before we proceed to the next slide, what is the purpose of assessment? The purpose of assessment is the common goal of assessment is to evaluate and improve students' learning.
Assessment framework is the recognition and deliberate consideration of the learner's zones of proximal development by Vygotsky, 1978. Zone of proximal development is defined by Vygotsky, 1978, as the distance between the actual developmental level as determined by independent problem solving and the level of potential development as determined through problem solving under adult guidance or in collaboration with more capable peers. The assessment framework is the identification and consideration of the deliberate structure in the neurodevelopment of a student. It discusses the test structure to be used. Appropriate assessment is committed to ensure learners' success in moving from guided to independent display of knowledge, understanding, and skills, and to enable them to transfer this successfully in a future situation. Appropriate assessment is the correct or valid assessment to measure the knowledge, ability, and understanding of the student to use in the future.
There are two types of assessment. First is the formative assessment. Formative assessment may be seen as assessment for learning, so teacher can make adjustment in their instruction. It is also assessment as learning, wherein students reflect on their own progress. According to UNESCO program on Teaching and Learning for Sustainable Future, UNESCO, formative assessment refers to the ongoing forms of assessment that are closely linked to the learning process. It is characteristically informal and it is intended to help students identify strengths and weaknesses in order to learn from the assessment experience. What are some formative assessment examples? First, impromptu quizzes or anonymous voting. 2. Short comparative assessment to see how pupils are performing against their peers. Third, 1-minute paper on a specific subject matter. Fourth, lesson exit tickets to summarize what pupils have learned. Why is formative assessment important of learning? Formative assessment is a flexible and informal way of assessing a pupil's progress and their understanding of a certain subject matter. It is may be recorded in a variety of ways or may not be recorded at all, except perhaps in a lesson planning to address the next step. Second, the summative assessment. Summative assessment are used to evaluate student learning at the end of an instructional unit. Example summative assessment. End of term of midterm exam. Second, cumulative work over an extended period such as final project of create a portfolio. Third, end of unit or chapter test. Fourth, standardized tests that demonstrate school accountability. Why summative assessment important for learning? In the current education system, standards-driven instruction plays a significant role. Summative assessment, therefore, provides an essential benchmark to check the progress of a student, institution, and the educational program of the country as whole.
Online platform in assessing the knowledge of student. Number 1 is online quizzes. Quizzes are the traditional assessment tool. Plus, when we paired with technology, they are excellent way to engage student learning. Number 2, open-ended or essay question. Open-ended or essay type question are one of the most popular qualitative assessment methods. They prompt learners to explore their thoughts, feelings, and opinion while testing their overall comprehension of the topic. And lastly, online polls. Polls allow you to capture feedback directly from your audience about their learning experience. You can also use polls question when you want to quickly grab and focus your learners' attention. Classroom assessment is the process of observing, collecting, analyzing, and interpreting evidence that can be used to draw influences in informed decision-making. Letter A, content standards. Identify and set the essential knowledge and understanding that should be learned. Content standards describe the knowledge and skills that the student should attain. Often called the what of what a student should note and to be able to do. It also indicates the ways of thinking, working, communicating, reasoning, and investigating the important enduring ideas, concepts, issues, dilemmas, and knowledge. Letter B, performance standards. Performance standards describe the abilities and skills that the learner are expected to demonstrate in relation to content standards and integration of 21st century skills.
Learning competencies. It refers to knowledge, understandings, skills, and attitudes that students need to demonstrate in every lesson in or learning activities. They emphasize aspects of learning that apply within and across all subjects areas. In learning competencies, the students are the artists, scientists, thinkers, innovators, and leaders of the future. They will be tasked within solving the problems of today, while imagining and creating a new tomorrow. So, what is the role of learning competency? Competencies are critical for equipping students within the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that they will need to successfully navigate their personal journeys in learning, living, and working. When students develop learning competencies, students use and develop competencies when they encounter unfamiliar or challenging situations. Competencies help students draw and build upon what they know, how they think, and what they can do in school. Students develop and apply competencies through subject areas, content, and learning experiences. Concept developments. The learning standards in the curriculum reflect progressions of concept developments. It is a process of developing ideas to solve specified design problems. The concepts are developed in phases from formless idea to precise message in an appropriate form with a supportive visual and contents. Once you have done your research and understanding exactly what you want to achieve and why you are ready to start working on the actual design, A concept is not a message. A concept is an idea that contextualizes a message in interesting, unique, and memorable ways through both form and design content. To whom is classroom assessment reported? Classroom assessment serves to help teachers and parents understand the learner's progress on curriculum standards. It allows the teachers to track and measure learners' progress and to adjust instructions accordingly. Classroom assessment informs the learners as well as their parents and guardians of their progress. That's all. Thank you for listening. We hope that you have learned something from our reports. Thank you.